Welcome to our special open enrollment period for East County. When Matt came on board, he looked at our benefit program and said, medical, dental, vision, cool, but we got to be able to do a little bit more. So it was very important to him right off the bat to give a little bit more to you guys. And most of what you're going to see here today is being paid for by the company, and there'll be some additional options for you. So we'll go quickly through our agenda, who's eligible, what are the things, best practices, action items. So here's our new, as of August 1st, we're going to have flexible spending account for medical. We're going to have a flexible spending account for dependent care. We've got life insurance paid for through the company, and we've got additional voluntary life insurance that you can pay for on top of that. And we're introducing a new long-term disability benefit. So with disability, there's long-term and there's short-term. Short-term's already covered through our state wages. We get that already through the state of California. So you already have state-based short-term disability. Long-term can go a long way. Maybe one of the most underrated benefits there is. So open enrollment, this is our time to make our enrollments. This will be, we'll do this again for the life insurance and disability. I believe we'll have to do this again next year in August, but after that, we'll be able to coordinate. After a year on the policy, we can coordinate the two and line the two effective dates up. Flexible spending, we'll have a brand new open enrollment window for the beginning of the year. So we'll kind of talk about those two things as we get through here. So flexible spending account. A flexible spending account is where you put your money into an account pre-tax, and then you can use it for predictable medical expenses like doctor visits, prescription drugs, dental, vision, LASIK, childcare, whatever it may be. These are your dollars that you're putting into a separate account, and it's put into that account through payroll deduction. And what makes FSAs such a no-brainer for any of you with predictable medical expenses is you already have the $100 a month expense for prescriptions for whatever it may be, and you're using after-tax dollars to pay for it. A flexible spending account allows you to pull those dollars out of your paycheck pre-tax and have access to 100% of it to use on those same expenses pre-tax. So basically, if you're at a 30% tax bracket, this is 30 free cents on the dollar to pay for any predictable claims. All right. So with the IRS, is Sarah in the waiting room? I don't see anybody in the waiting room. Matt.
All right, I'll keep working. Sorry, keep going.
Okay. So with IRS spending limits, Matt, earlier we had a conversation. Wex was right. Thankful we checked. This is a short plan year. Our maximum medical FSA contribution from August 1st to December 31st is $1416.66. You can roll over up to $680. All right. So what this means is you can elect to pay $1416. You could put $1416 pre-tax into an account, $1416 divided by 5. That's about $283 a month. You can use these dollars to pay for, again, copays, doctor visits, medications, all the way down to dental and vision expenses. All right. So the FSA is fantastic for any of you who have regular medical expenses. Maybe some of you don't have regular medical expenses, but you always have medical expenses throughout the year and you want to dip your toe in the water a little bit. I recommend committing to about $600. If you don't use any of the $600, it will roll over into our 2027 year and you have access to it. So you don't lose those rollover funds. However, if you were to put $1,400 into this account and not use any of it, you would forfeit everything above $680. All right. So you really want to put a little thought into what you can predict. What do your prescription drugs cost? Do you have a surgery coming up? Does your kid get hurt a lot? Do you ride mountain bikes and end up in the emergency room once a year? Whatever it may be, these are the things I want you thinking about. And if you do have some predictable expenses, think about it. It's $50 for a prescription drug, and I have 2 MRIs a year at $400. All right, so that is this many dollars. And you put it in, and you would elect to have it come out of your paycheck. And if you put $1,400 into your paycheck, it would come out you would divide that by the number of pay periods left. So do we have 2 pay periods a month, or are we every 2 weeks? I can't.
Every 2 weeks.
Okay. So Well, there would be about 9 or 10 pay periods left, about 10 pay periods left in the year. So if you did 14, 16, that would equal $141 out of your paycheck each time money goes into account. You'd have a debit card that would be assigned to you. You go to the doctor, you go to the pharmacy, you go to the dentist, you can swipe that card and the money comes straight out of that account. So really slick. Any questions on medical FSA? Okay.
I do.
Yeah.
Hi, Mary here.
Hi.
Just a quick question. Right now, our medical monthly premium, is that pre-tax or post-tax money?
Pre-tax.
Oh, okay. And
Yeah.
then, okay, that's all I had.
Great. I'll stop every once in a while and ask for questions. And at the end, we will have questions. You can ask any questions. And if you have any questions that are not appropriate for this setting, we can go offline and talk about it individually. So all the option, we want you to get all the answers you need. Dependent care FSA. This is not prorated by the amount of time left in the year. You can put up to $7,500 in dependent care FSA costs aside. Again, it will be divided by the number of pay periods left between now and December 31st. And you can use these funds for child care center, babysitters, nannies, summer camps, ding, ding, ding. If you've got any kids like I do doing summer camps, before school care, after school care. You can even use this for disabled dependents that are over age or elder care. All right. Now, you cannot access a dependent care FSA if your child is over the ages 13 years or older, or if you have a husband and wife or two people together in a household, one of which is not working or in school full time. So if we have a stay-at-home parent, you're not eligible for dependent care FSA. If the child is over 13, you're not eligible for these dollar amounts. So for those of you that might have kids in daycare, in preschool care, after school care, whatever it may be, you know this can get very expensive. If you are one of these people, this is an absolute no-brainer. You're already spending the money. You might as well make it tax-free. Okay. Any questions on dependent care FSA?
I do, Bill.
Yeah.
If your spouse is currently not on your medical plan as a dependent or not on your medical plan, could you still use the dependent care FSA on them?
It would not be good for a spouse, though, because the spouse would be over 13.
Okay, so anyone over 13, it would not work. And
Correct.
That's for dependent care, Mary. So
Yeah,
just like
dependent
childcare
care.
and stuff.
Childcare, yeah.
Yeah, for dependent care. Sorry, back to the medical FSA. What about the spouse there? Is it just for you? The spouse has to be on the plan? Like for
No, the
instance,
spouse does not have to be on the plan. You can use these dollars to pay for co-pays, for qualified medical expenses, for any dependents.
oh, okay.
So anybody who's in your household, Bill?
Yeah,
Okay.
correct. The limitation is $3,400 per year. So if your spouse has maxed out their FSA at 3,400, then you wouldn't be able to do this because it's a household maximum. So if you have a spouse at another company maxing out their amounts, then you can't do this as well. Same goes with dependent care.
Okay, and then lastly, for the babysitter, does it have to be someone with like a business tax or like how do you get that reimbursed for?
Yeah, no, it doesn't have to be, but you are going to be putting their information and social down, and so they will be getting a 1099 for that. So you've got somebody working in the home, and of course, geographically where we are, that could mean someone that might not be happy with you putting their information on some of this. So you will be reporting to the IRS that you're spending these dollars on this person, and they'll be getting a 1099 or something similar to that as a result.
Okay, good one. Thank you.
Sure.
And Bill, Sarah has a question in the chat there.
The kids are in camps now. Would that still count even though we're putting money away in the future? So the expenses have to be incurred 8/1 or later. So the answer is yes, you could use it for those camps 8/1 or later. schools keep starting earlier and earlier and earlier. So I don't know how much you have of camps left in the month of August, and you are replying to me right now. So
Yeah, I guess Bill, clarifying question. If you are like on a payment plan, is it when the payments take place or when the camp takes place?
uh, um, Sarah, to answer your question, yes. After next summer, we're going to be able to do all this all over again at open enrollment for January 1 for the 2027 tax year. So we kind of got a free look period here. Um, Generally speaking, Matt, these type of all things with this, it's when was the expense incurred? And so I don't know that. So is the expense incurred when you're invoiced for it? I mean, I think you could probably get away with it, frankly. I don't know
Yeah.
that they're
If you
keeping
have a
that.
receipt that shows 8/2.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. I mean, if the invoice says childcare, kids 10 years old after August 1st, yeah, I think probably so. Robin, yes.
So similarly, I'm on a payment plan for dental, for surgeries and stuff that I've already had, and I pay that monthly. Can I use this towards that, even though
You
it's
know what?
already?
I'll get back to you guys on that. I haven't had that question yet, and I don't want to mislead you.
And Bill, similar to the dental question, so let's say you get a root canal, your insurance covers 80%, but you're still responsible for the rest. That's the part, is it the self-pay part?
Exactly right.
You could use the FSA?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You got $1,000 bill, insurance is paying 800 of it, you're left with 200. You swipe the card there at the point of service and pay for it. Or if that doesn't work, because these cards are coded so that you can't go buy, can't go to the movies with it and can't go to dinner, right? They're coded so that they work automatically, especially at pharmacies and at CVS. But sometimes, and we give them all the information about all the copays that we have, so that if they swipe it for $10 or $15 or $250, the system already knows that's a copay we have. So it's usually pretty smart, but not fail safe. And if you end up in a situation where you have to pay out of pocket, you can then submit the receipts for reimbursement. So yeah, and yeah, orthodontics is covered under these FSAs. And that's a question that I get a lot is, what if my insurance plan doesn't cover a thing? Can I still use these dollars? The answer is generally yes. The very large umbrella of an answer is look at section 213D of the IRS code. That is fully encompassing of all the qualified expenses for a flexible spending account. So, but generally speaking, yes, it would be covered.
I know, speaking from personal experience in the past, if you are getting something and your doctor has recommended it, and that documentation can help you justify a purchase of, a massage gun or something else like that too. So.
Mhm. So this is a great, right into that. Thank you, Matt. Right into that. Here's a great resource, fsastore.com. This is a great place to go, and they help you with predetermined things that are FSA eligible. There's HSAs and HRAs and all that. When I recommend you go to this website and just poke around a little bit, you'll see a lot of things that are FSA eligible. Really helpful at the end of the plan year when you got, oh no, I have $1,000 in there, I don't want to lose it. You can go to the FSA store and get different things that are flexible spending account eligible. So just a quick look. Again, this is going to be recorded. We're going to share this document with you guys. You'll have access to this. So this is the WEX Health website, benefitslogin.wexhealth.com. Down here is the get started. So once you're into the account, once you're into the system, which will be probably 7 to 10 days after open enrollment ends, you can go here, get started, and set up your account with them. They've got tons of things for benefits, technology, and resources. I'll note down here, there is a phone number for people before you enroll. So 844-561-1337. This is a great resource for any of you that might have questions that didn't get answered here, or something very specific. You want to ask a couple of questions of them leading into the plan year. You're welcome to do so here. Of course, we're here to help you should you have any questions. They've also got a really nice mobile app where you can take pictures of receipts and upload it. You can scan items. You can scan the code on different items to see if it is eligible. You can check in on claims. Lots of really cool stuff there. Again, more stuff on the mobile app. WEX is really the leader in the industry in this kind of thing. So every amount of online and mobile app stuff you could think of is available for you there. So that's all about the WEX stuff there, flexible spending and dependent care. Any questions before we move off of that?
Bill, is there a rollover amount for medical?
The medical
for
FSA
dependent care?
rollover is 680.
Oh, sorry. I mean for dependent care.
There is not. There's no rollover for dependent care. Make sure you calculate that one right. Always better to go under, especially since we have another shot at this in 6 months, 5 months, whenever we do our thing again. Just get in there and play around with moving things from after-tax dollars to pre-tax dollars. Don't dump a bunch of money in there that you don't know what you're going to use it for. I would really think about how you're using your dollars so that you get it exactly right. So life insurance, we've got a life insurance. Oh,
sorry, Bill. I just wanted to say, so step one, opt in if we're interested. The dollar amount, you're locked in. If it's the $200, you're locked in for the next 6 months. And then the next open enrollment, you could change it.
That's right.
Okay, cool.
This is a Section 125 benefit. So much like medical, dental, and vision, once you enroll, in order to make any changes before open enrollment, you must have a qualifying event. So you are committed to this. Now, if you go to part-time, that's a qualifying event. You get married and leave, that's a qualifying event. You quit, whatever. These are qualifying events. But this, you are generally locked into this. Okay. So life insurance. Now, this is a paid-for benefit by principal. It is a 200% of your annual salary is going to be your life insurance benefit. Because we are less than 10 people, we had some limitations on what we could get guaranteed approval. But anybody that is under 100,000 is guaranteed right off the bat. If 200% of your salary is over 100,000, there will be some very simple evidence of insurability forms and questionnaires that go out via email to you. It's like, are you currently hospitalized? Have you been diagnosed with cancer? Did you get, are you under treatment for cancer, brain, all these different things. So relatively easy information that is being asked of you to make sure we qualify. But that is paid for 100% by the employer. And additionally, we have additional voluntary life insurance. This is a really nice benefit. You can get guaranteed issue up to $30,000 additional dollars. Guaranteed, no questions asked. And if you want a lot more, you could request as much as $300,000 more. Anything over $30,000 is going to, again, trigger that evidence of insurability questionnaire where they can review and potentially not approve. Most of the time they do approve because it's not a super intense questionnaire. We do need 5 people to enroll in voluntary term life. So if we don't get to 5, we might come back to you and say we didn't qualify for this, but we'll try again in a future enrollment period. Just to give you an idea, $10,000 of additional life insurance for somebody in between 40 and 44 is a little less than $2.50 a month. If you're in that same age range and want 25,000, you're looking at, $3 or $4 a paycheck. So it is really pretty inexpensive. So a good option for you guys as well. Any questions on life
Bill,
insurance?
just to clarify, the slide before,
yeah,
employer is paying it. We don't need a minimum of 5. The voluntary, you pay for above and beyond what we are going to offer, and that's where we would need 5 to have a minimum threshold.
That's right. So this life is free to you, and it's going to be as much as 200% of your salary. And then voluntary life and AD&D. AD&D is super morbid, but it means accidental death and dismemberment. So really kind of nasty stuff there. But that's what AD&D means, in case anybody's wondering. You can add life insurance for a spouse, for dependents. But this is the voluntary life is 100% out of your pocket. You will pay on a per paycheck basis post-tax. Okay, we pay post-tax for life insurance so that the death benefit is not taxable. All right.
Bill, how does that impact you if you already have life insurance through the person who's I'm not sure the connection, but um through the our retirement person. So
Just more. It doesn't impact you in a negative way at all. It's just more life insurance.
oh, okay, it's not capped.
No.
Okay.
You
No.
choose this, that, or both.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even some of you might have through an individual life insurance policy through that you bought on your own. This is in addition to that as well. We are, as Americans, tragically underinsured with life insurance for the most part. 60 some odd percent don't have nearly enough. So these are just ways that we can supplement it should you need it. And if you don't, no, thank you, no problem. Long-term disability. So long-term disability, this kicks in after 90 days. Now, 90 days is the first 90 days, generally speaking, is going to be our state disability. So this kicks in after 90 days and can last all the way to Social Security retirement age. So basically 65 years old. So if you're 35 years old right now and you fall down, go boom, can't work, and you're disabled for the rest of your life, you're going to get 60% of your current pay up to $7,000 a month for the rest of your life, for the up to 65, I should say, up to 65. This is paid for by your employer, and it is really one of the most underrated benefits. There is a pre-existing condition exclusion, unfortunately, but it is if you were treated for something in the 12 months prior to August 1st. So you got diagnosed with a heart condition, you got back surgery, you under treatment or investigator and diagnosing a brain situation, and you are disabled because of that condition, there will be a 12-month waiting period before the benefits kick in. Okay, so that's the 12 there. But if you're healthy and nothing's really going on, then you should be good to go. And again, this is paid for 100% by your employer. Any questions on that?
I'm sorry, Bill. That last so back up one, please. For that long-term disability, you just said if you're 65 and you have an issue, how many years would you get the long-term disability? But then you said it's not for life, it's until you're 65.
Yeah. So if you were working and disabled after 65, I think it's a 2 year, you get a 2 year benefit or something like that. But if you're 35, 45, 55, whatever, and you're disabled, it would go to 65
To
years old.
65. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So our action items before we get into our new enrollment portal. So are we going to enroll in flexible spending account? LTD, long-term disability is free, so you definitely want that. The regular life insurance is free, so you definitely want that. But voluntary life, that's a decision. So flexible spending for medical, for dependent care, and voluntary life, those are decisions you need to make. Um, Everybody will be logging in and choosing their beneficiary or beneficiaries. So you'll have the opportunity to name a spouse, a parent, a sister, a friend. My name's Bill, whatever, So you can name whatever you want on your beneficiary. And a term you might not be familiar with is primary beneficiary and contingent beneficiary. So primary beneficiary is who the money goes to should you pass away. Frequently it's your spouse, right? It's your spouse. Now, let's say you and your spouse both die in the same car crash, whatever it is. Contingent beneficiary is who the beneficiary would be if the primary beneficiary is no longer around. So that's where you split it up with your kids or whatever it is. If you do not wish to enroll in flex spending account or the additional life insurance, no problem at all. You'll just go in and you'll waive that coverage, and you'll be submitting all of that through the employee navigator profile, which is what we'll get to now. So we've used the Ease portal for many years. Ease was purchased 3 or 4 years ago by Employee Navigator, and Navigator is shuttering the Ease portal. And so we're all moving to the Navigator portal. It actually is a much better portal, but it's different. So sometimes it can be a little bit challenging. So to log in, you guys all got an email yesterday morning. Let's see a nod of heads. Do we remember the email we got yesterday to Roland? Okay, cool. So that has a link in it. It'll take you to the website. If you don't have that email, employeenavigator.com benefits account register, you'll go that. You're going to put your first name, your last name, your company ID, which is EC, all right, so that's easy, and then the last four of your social. Once you do that, you're going to get logged in. You're going to hit the little start button here. That'll start your open enrollment process. Again, it's going to ask you, it's going to let you know some of the things you're going to need to have. You'll get started. You'll go through all your personal information, add dependents should you need to. And then enrolling, you're going to have these little check marks, and you can check all, or you can just individually check the different people. Again, you'll see a lot more of this once we do medical and dental, where you're kind of picking and choosing. It'll be a lot simpler with this particular election. The plans will be down here at the bottom. You'll hit select, save, and continue. You're going to see your per pay period cost there. You'll keep going through here. You can decline the benefit. So if you do not wish to have coverage, you just hit this don't want this benefit. Boom, it's going to pop open this window. You'll just let us know why you're not wishing to enroll. Any answer is valid. It just wants to collect that information. You'll sign and complete it here. So they do a good job of really kind of highlighting, better than the ease portal, I think, did. Click to sign. It turns into the same DocuSign procedure you had before. You can acknowledge it. It's acknowledged and submitted. So once you see this page, you're all set. You're all done. And that's it. So if you got any questions, Matt knows how to get a hold of me. You can start there. You can always reach out to me. I'll put my information in the chat right now, so you have that. But